Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Curseof and welcome back to another video. And ladies and gentlemen, today I am here to bring you a new form of GX box content. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I have the top 5 brand new decks from the Speed Duel Academy GX box. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So let's lay down some ground rules here. This can't be Moth with new cards in it. This can't be SPA with Cyber Dragon through in it. These have to be decks that are centered around new cards. Just want to get that out of the way before people are like, but what about Moth with the DD Warrior Lady? No, not a new deck. It's just Moth with new good stuff. Let's get into it. So, starting off with the number 5 slot here. This one is a little bit up for debate, but the deck that I decided to put in the number 5 slot is DDT. For those of you who don't know what this acronym means, it is Diamond Dude Turbo. What this deck basically does is it focuses on getting access to Diamond Dude, which is a brand new Destiny Hero monster that we got in the Speed Duel Academy box. What this monster does is basically let you excavate the top card of your deck. If it is a normal spell, you leave it in your grave, and on the following turn, you can activate its effect. This pairs very, very well with the new skill we got called Looking into the Future. You can flip over the card. During your main phase, specifically, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, return them into your deck in any order, and you can't use spell cards the turn you activate this effect. You can't activate spell cards. You can activate spell card effects. You just can't activate a spell card. So you can activate anything you milled off of Diamond Dude, but you can't use any other spell cards that turn, right? So Looking into the Future lets you stack the top 3 cards of your deck, which if you didn't get the purpose of it, it lets you set up whatever you want to mill for Diamond Dude. And if we want to talk about some of the good Diamond Dude targets, we have a brand new card called Ojama Delta Hurricane. If you control Ojama Green, Yellow, and Ojama Black, trail monsters your opponent controls. But Diamond Dude doesn't need to worry about the activation requirements, nor any costs. So Delta Hurricane is just a free board wipe, but like everything. It wipes spells and traps and monsters. All cards your opponent control, gone. So this is a huge mill. You set this up on top of your deck, bada bing, bada boom. You're looking fantastic. We have Beginning of the End, which is a card we've had for a while. It requires you to have 7 or more dark monsters in your graveyard, and you can draw 3, but doesn't matter because we don't need to set it up off of Diamond Dude, so it's just a free draw 3 on the following turn. It's Card of Demise, basically, but there's literally no restrictions to it if you get it off of Diamond Dude. And the final really good one is Reinforcements of the Army, because 1, it searches your Diamond Dude, and 2, it also searches for a few staples that we have, being Exiled Force and DD Warrior Lady. Warrior Lady is another new card that we just got, and is honestly probably just the best Rhoda target that we currently have access to. So Rhoda gets you your Diamond Dude, it gets you an Exiled Force, which is just spot removal, and it gets you a Warrior Lady, which is spot removal banish, and can deal with a lot of very problematic cards. So although DDT is a little bit luck based, the skill helps you mitigate some of that luck required, and yeah, you can just mill with Diamond Dude. Plus, if you do need to activate spell cards that turn, like say you open up with a Rhoda and you didn't get Diamond Dude, you can just go straight for the luck, just activate Rhoda, go ahead and search your Diamond Dude, and just mill and see whatever you hit. So honestly, the deck looks very, very cool. Very, very cute. It isn't as viable as the rest on this list. Basically, the number 5 slot is so up for debate because I feel like a lot of these decks are more meme oriented, I would say. Maybe you can get them up to Rogue if you really, really push what you're doing with them. But for the most part, they're pretty well meme oriented. So number 5, as stated, we have DDT. Moving off into the number 4 slot here on our list, we have a deck that me and Terramaster actually showcase. I'll go ahead and link it up in the cards for you guys right now. That is Dragoon Turbo. What makes this deck good? Well, thanks to the skill Fusion Party, you don't need to run Polymerization, but I have seen more and more decks running an extra one as a good follow-up play, because Dragoon can be dealt with like a DD Warrior Lady, for example. It definitely hinders it in a lot of ways. But yeah, no, Dragoon Turbo is actually very, very solid. Dragoon is a fantastic boss monster. If they out it without banishing it or shuffling it, it is going to come back, because you should have at least 2 Destiny Hero materials in grave, being Dogma and Plasma. You can facilitate a Plasma off of it by sacking your Dragoon and just 2 other monsters. If you're, setting up and your opponent is too scared to put anything in basic attack because of Dragoon burn, maybe they're too low on life points, right? So very, very powerful boss monster, and the revival is what makes it so big, because even though you lose resources off of fusion summoning it, it just comes back at least 2 more times, so removing it isn't always easy for your opponent. Even Parasite won't get rid of it forever, and as long as you can stop the second Parasite attack, which I just want to mention here, obviously if you're fusion summoning Dragoon, you're not using up your normal summon, so you probably have protection from the Moth OTK, and you can follow it up with another Dragoon, or with the same Dragoon the following turn. Just pop it, deal 35 to your opponent, and you're in a pretty good spot. They've used their skill, you still have your boss monster, and you have potentially a chance of summoning it again off of your poly later. Very, very good. Very, very powerful. Plus, this deck has very easy access to Dangerous, as it usually just plays a bunch of good darks, like Breaker the Magical Warrior, like Dekoichi. 2 great cards because you don't need your normal summon, and obviously triple Allure to help turbo out your Dragoon. I've also seen a lot of decks playing Recycling Plant with this. Recycling Plant is actually very interesting. Very, very interesting. It lets you recycle the materials at the end of the turn after you fusion summon, and also lets you get Poly back into your hand to potentially make more Dragoons or more Dangerous. But what I really like about it is that you can, not only summon Dragoon more or Dangerous more if you need to, but it actually can let you get more revival in grave for your Dragoon by pitching Dogmas or Plasmas that are just dead and sitting in your hand. So very, very cool card, very, very cute card, and honestly the deck just summons such a fantastic boss monster so quickly and so easily, and that's just what makes it as viable as it is. Honestly, if you guys want to see how viable this deck is this viable? It's in the cards. Again, I did it twice for you guys. You should probably go watch it. But yeah, Dragoon takes the number 4 slot here. We're on a Destiny Hero roll right now. Things are looking good. Things are looking good. Let's move on to number 3. Sitting at the number 3 slot on this list here is my personal favorite deck this format. It's about tied with CA's actually. But we have Volcanic. Volcanic is, you could argue, more of an engine than a deck, but it's a very powerful engine and deck. You could go with the Doomfire Turbo route if you want, using the Blaze Accelerator deployment skill. The other skill is just worse than that one, so don't play that one. Blaze Accelerator deployment allows you to change the name of one of your Blaze Accelerators to Tri-Blaze Accelerator, which allows you to then tribute that off for a Volcanic Doomfire, which is a 3k beat stick. If it kills one of your opponent's monsters, you board wipe them. You Raigeki them, basically. Very, very powerful card. Sadly, it doesn't do too much more than that, and you are using up a skill slot just to get out a 3k beat stick that can sometimes Raigeki, so it's a little iffy and more than likely not the optimal way to play the deck. But potential better version is taking advantage of the fact that this deck burns you so often with Volcanic Shell, searching itself, with Wildfire, board wiping. You take a lot of damage really quickly, so pairing that with the Twisted Personality skill, you're very, very easily going to get counters, going to get the ability to pitch cards from your opponent's hand, and yeah, plus you have a lot of spot removal in Blaze Accelerator plus Shell. You can basically pop 3 times for free. We have the Firestorm Guard, which lets you recycle your shells and then Pot of Greed. And Rocket is a 1900 beat stick that searches your Blaze Accelerator. Like I said, it really does feel like an engine, but it is so powerful, and just having like infinite pops in your shell, because it's just recycle, 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 and then maybe follow up with a wildfire. It's very, very good. And if you activate Blaze Accelerator, attempt to use this effect by pitching a shell, and they're like, dude, I got you. I activate Cosmic Cyclone. And you're like, dude, I got you. I chain Wildfire. And then they lose. If it happens the other way around, you're sad. But yeah, very, very strong deck. You lose your battle phase with a lot of these cards, but the control is just so powerful, and you get good beat sticks, and you have discard fodder, and you're just plussing a lot of the time. Basically, you're out resourcing your opponent and then just beating them down. Just smack, 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 smack. Plus, you have a good bit of room for just good staples like Book and DD Warrior Lady. Really good card, guys. Really good card. But yeah, honestly, Volcanic is easily my number 3 slot here. Getting into the big decks of the box. Starting off here, we have Cyber Angel. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Cyber Angel, my other favorite deck from the GX box, and probably just this format, is above Volcanics. I really like Cyber Angel because it just combos, and comboing is just really, really fun. Even if it's a simple combo that isn't hard to do. I don't think I've ever showed you guys this combo before, so I'll bring it up on the screen here now. Basically, if you open Edatin plus Ben 10, you have a turn 1 Izana, and you don't neg at all. You go neutral during the combo, and you, well, if you go second, you go neutral during the combo. So you go neutral during the combo, and you get a 3500 Izana that can swing twice as long as you're swinging into monsters. And the odds of this are increased again because you also run 3 copies of Senju in the deck, which makes it so you basically run 6 copies of Ben 10 and 6 copies of Edatin. So going second, you have a 75% chance to do this. So if you have Ben 10 and Edatin in your opening hand, basically what you're going to do, flip up your skill, Ritual Ceremony. You're going to reveal either Cyber Angel monster, and you're going to search for your Machine Angel Ritual from deck to hand. You're going to use Machine Angel Ritual, send Ben 10, summon Edatin. Edatin's going to trigger, and Ben 10's going to trigger. Edatin will search another Machine Angel Ritual to your hand, and Ben 10 will search a Fairy monster to your hand. If you use Senju to get Ben 10, then you search Izana directly. If you didn't normal summon this turn, then you search Senju and get your normal summon. So it'll depend. You'll see what I did in this one specifically. I'm probably going to search for a Senju. At this point, normal Senju, search for the Izana that I'm missing. As you can see, Miyoma resources are flowing, things are looking good. I'm then going to use my second Machine Angel Ritual. I'm going to sack both the Senju and the Edatin for the Izana. Edatin will trigger and Izana will trigger. Edatin will get my Izana up to 3500, and Izana will force my opponent to send a card they control to the graveyard, specifically a Spell and Trap. So I went neutral during this. My opponent lost a back row. Sure, they got to choose the back row, but they still lost one. And I have 2 protection in grave for my Izana. So it's a 3500 beat stick with double protection. It can attack twice. If you target it or any Cyber Angel monsters, I get to destroy one of your cards, and it doesn't target. It's pretty nuts. And it's a 75% chance that you do this all the time, and you don't neg. It is absolutely absurd. It is such a consistent combo, and you summon a monster that's as big as Moth, but it has protection. And if they parasite it, well, they targeted it, so you get to pop something. And if you have a Cosmic or something on resolution of that parasite, you are sitting in such a good position with your Izana. Honestly, fantastic card, fantastic deck. I really do think this is going to create some waves in the meta for sure. A lot of people, are like, Mind Crush hurts it a lot. It does, don't get me wrong, it definitely does, but it's not the end all be all of the deck. You sometimes can play through Mind Crush. If you can't, maybe you hit it with your Cosmic or with a Night Beam or whatever you're playing, or they just didn't draw Mind Crush. And if they don't draw it and they were relying on Mind Crush to beat you, well, I guess they just lost. You know what I mean? So, although the deck has weaknesses, that's a good thing. Decks should have weaknesses. If a deck doesn't have a weakness, that means we're in a tier 0 format, and that's not healthy. So, Cyber Angels, fantastic deck. If you're looking for a good deck that's really fun and honestly pretty... I mean, there's a lot of big brain, but you could kind of turn off your brain and just summon Izana and just try to win. Kinda. So, it's a really, really cool deck. Very, very fun. Highly recommend it. And going off into the final of the top 5 decks from the Duel Academy box, we have Crystal Beast. This is another Is This Viable episode. It's right up there. It's in the cards right now. Click it, go watch it. Me and Terramaster test it, and we show you how great this deck is. So basically, what this deck does is it uses this brand new skill called Crystal Transcendence. I'll bring it up on the screener for you guys. Basically, you can pitch up to 3 cards, and then put up to 3, up to the number of cards you pitched, basically, Crystal Beast monsters into your spell and trap zone. This is going to immediately facilitate a rare value, which is just a Pot of Greed. This is going to immediately facilitate a Crystal Conclave, a Crystal Raigeki. If you get access to your Sapphire Pegasus and have Conclave in hand, you can use Conclave to bounce Pegasus to set up for next turn. You can literally get easy access basically into whatever you're looking for. Whatever you're looking for. Like I said, if you're looking for Pegasus, set it up. Bounce it with Conclave. Then you set up your following turn where you can normal Pegasus, get another one into your spell and trap zone, get another one into rotation, right? You have room for something like Explode a Dragon. The skill does restrict you to specifically Crystal Beasts or Dragons, so sadly you have to play this over DD Warrior Lady, but still, very, very good card. It's a deck that takes fantastic advantage over a Super Rush Recklessly, because all your Crystal Beasts that you're playing are Beast Monsters, and you pop them, they go into your spell and trap zone, then you get to shuffle a monster your opponent controls. This is an easy out for Dragoon. It's an easy out for a lot of stuff. Moth. You know, just out their boss monsters. It's a very, very control-oriented deck. It's just aiming to control and just poke your opponent, and it does have a big issue in Jinzo. But if you never let your opponent set up the tribute fodder for Jinzo, then you are sitting in a very, very good position. Crystal Raigeki spot removal, Conclave bounces and sets you up for future turns. Plus, if they run into one of your monsters and you flip Conclave, you get a special summon, right? And rare values Pot of Greed. It is literally, I think it's the best deck from the GX box. I mean, it's really the only deck from the GX box that actually uses its skill besides like DDT, but like that one's number 5, maybe. This is number 1. So the skill is actually huge. Definitely the best skill support we got for a deck. And I think it's the best brand new deck going into this format. So if you're in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy Discord, Toxic Legacy Series number 2 is coming up. Free entry, $100 prize pool. Come in with Crystal Beasts. I'd love to see Crystal Beasts win. Come in with Cyber Angels. I'd love to see Cyber Angels win. Come in with Volcanics. Come with any of these decks. And you're looking pretty good. You're looking pretty good, I think, honestly, coming into this. You guys can't tell me that these decks right here don't have Moth answers. They do. Do they all have the best matchup as Moth? Are they all as good as Moth? Well, I mean, you tell me. You tell me. You test it, you tell me. You guys got to figure it out for yourselves. But these decks are all viable in some regard, especially all the ones after DDT, and especially the top 3. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please hit the like button down below, subscribe, and leave a comment. Do you guys plan on joining the Toxic Legacy series? And do you plan on playing a new deck, or are you going back to your old Moth ways, and am I gonna have to ban you? Thank you very much for watching, guys. Catch you all tomorrow for something I am very excited about. That's a wrap, guys. Peace.